What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for the Europa League playoffs second leg, and the first leg was very exciting. And not only that, we had a great video last week. We tipped 10 tips and got 8 correct, which is awesome, especially the Celtic Stuttgart game. I saw that coming a mile away. I said Stuttgart to win and both teams to score at odds of 4. I had both teams scoring over 2.5 goals above even. Stuttgart to win at 2.15. The odds were crazy, and I think there's more value to be had in this video today. Real quick, this is probably your last chance to enter the $100 giveaway. All you need to do is join the Patreon using the link down below. I'll talk more about the Patreon later on in the video, but just wanted to get that out there to say you have a chance to win $100. Whilst you're down there, make sure you drop a like, hype the video, subscribe, and leave your predictions down in the comments. Now, this is a little bit of a weird one because at the time of recording, Bet365 doesn't have any odds for any Europa League game, but luckily there are other bookies out there. So I've got some tips, I've got some odds, so let's get straight into it. I will say this. Pretty much all, not all, but pretty much all of my tips for the Europa League today involve either goal lines or both teams to score or the goals scoring in some sort of way. And you might think, there are too many BTTSs in here, too many goals in here, but last week I predicted 13 out of 16 teams to score in the playoffs first leg. And do you know how many teams scored? 13. So I think we will see a lot of goals again in the playoffs, and I think we're going to see maybe even more than 13 teams scoring this time round. The first game is Zvezda or Red Star Belgrade up against Lille. Now, Red Star got a fantastic result in the first leg away from home in France, a 1-0 win. I predicted a 1-1 draw there, but I said I could literally see it going 1-0 either way, so I went for the unders, and basically I think the same thing is going to happen here. My thoughts haven't really changed, and Lille are a decent side, but so are Red Star. And I have to say, in terms of home advantage, I think Red Star have some of the best in Europe. It's a really threatening place to go for a lot of teams, and I think they are going to be able to get the job done here. So given that they don't need a win, a draw is obviously a great result for them. So I'm going to go for the same score prediction and the same tip as last video, a 1-1 draw. And again, the tip is going to be under 3.5 goals at 1.4. It's a nice little parlay piece. It's not going to be a single that I recommend you bet, but it's nice to add to an accumulator that bolsters up the odds because all the other odds in this video are at least 1.7 and above. So this might be a nice one to just add to that. Lille will want to keep it low scoring because if they're only 1 goal behind, they can then just sneak a 1-0. And Red Star, obviously, if it ends 0-0, they qualify. So I think low scoring is the way to go for the first one. The next fixture is Viktoria Plzen up against Panathinaikos. Now, I did predict the first leg to end in a draw. I didn't think it would be so high scoring. I didn't think we'd see 4 goals in that game away in Greece in Panathinaikos. So a brilliant result for Viktoria Plzen, in my opinion. I make Plzen the better team, and I figured if Panathinaikos were going to be able to qualify from the first, from the result of the first game, they would have to win that. I obviously didn't think they were capable. I did predict a draw, and I think that Viktoria Plzen are going to have enough to get a home win and therefore qualify. I think it'll be close. I think it could be 1-1 after 70 minutes, and it'll be a late winner to see Viktoria Plzen win 2-1. But the tip, how can I look past it? It's going to be both teams to score at 1.83. I don't think two teams that draw 2-2 one week just magically transport into a 0-0. So I think goals at both ends are likely, and obviously they're both pushing to qualify. Panathinaikos, if they want to qualify, they do have to go here and win or try and score goals. So I think both teams to score is a great tip at 1.83, but I'm going for Viktoria Plzen to qualify. After this, it is Ferencvaros up against Ludogorets Razgrad. Ludogorets, one of the most weirdly priced games last week. It was actually a part of a 10-1 Europa League goals treble I had over on the Patreon, and that was over 3.5 goals in the Stuttgart Celtic game, over 2.5 goals in the Fenerbahce Forest game, and over 2.5 goals in the Ludogorets and Ferncvarosi game because the odds were crazy. I don't know why the odds for both teams to score were so high, and similarly, they're still pretty high, but Ludogorets games are often high scoring. I think Ferencvaros are a good team, but they lost to Ludogorets 2-1. So I'm going to go for a reverse result and say that it'll be the same thing. I'm going to say that Ferencvaros win this one 2-1. The tip is both teams to score at 1.8. Now, similarly to Inter Milan and Bodo Glimt, where I predicted it would be the reverse scoreline, 3-1 Inter, that means, of course, that you have to go to extra time and potentially penalties. And at that point, I think you do have to side with the home side. So I'll say for full time it'd be 2-1, But with regards to qualification, I'm going to have to side with Ferencvaros. They're not favourites to qualify currently because they are losing, but I think if they go and win the game by a goal, they then become the home favourites. So I'll say Ferencvaros qualify, whether that be extra time or penalties, but the tip is both teams to score at 1.8. After this, we travel to Germany for Stuttgart up against Celtic. I predicted Stuttgart to win 3-1 against Celtic. They won 4-1. Stuttgart are just so good. Celtic just not at the level they need to be for this competition, in my opinion. Stuttgart now at home. Celtic have to come out, and I think as a result they will score goals, but they will open themselves up to conceding a lot as well. So I think this is going to be another very high-scoring game. I'm going to go for Stuttgart to win 3-2, and the tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.72. And those are the exact odds. I thought, if you go back and watch my Europa League video, I looked at the meeting between Celtic and Stuttgart and thought BTTS over 2.5 goals would be a good shout. I went to look for the odds, expecting them to be about 1.6, 1.7, and was flabbergasted to see that they were 2.05 and tipped it there on the spot. You could go both teams to score on over 2.5 goals as well. I'll check the odds for you right now. They're probably something like 1.6, 1.7, 2.05. Why are they like that? I'm doing it again. I'm adding another tip. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. I still think at 1.72 odds, that's a good selection. I don't know who prices Celtic in Europe. Roma to beat Celtic above evens. Stuttgart to beat Celtic above evens. I don't know. I guess a lot of people back Celtic. I don't see why. So I'm going to go for another Stuttgart win, but the money has got to be with the goals. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. The next fixture we have, it is the fixture we correctly predicted with the perfect score last time out. It's Bologna up against Brann. Real quick, flashing up on the screen for everyone that is supporting me over on the Patreon. If you want access to exclusive members tips and accumulators, entrance into all of the giveaways, shout outs in the video as well, direct messaging access to me and my LYON predictions, then please do go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/thefull90, or click the link in the description to head over there and sign up. It's been super great over there. I've never seen the community so active. A lot of you guys talk to each other in the group chats, even when I'm not there. Just having a good time talking about football. So get yourself involved. I'd love to see you over there. But back to Bologna up against Brann. As I said, we predicted Bologna to win 1-0 away from home. I thought it'd be low scoring, close game, tricky game. But ultimately, Bologna would come out on top and leave themselves in a very, very good spot to, I think, go and win the home leg as well. They're the better team. And I'm going to go for another win. Bologna to win 2-0 this time. And the tip is going to be Bologna to win and under 3.5 goals at odds of 2.1. That's enough for them to qualify. Another 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, even a 2-1 if Brann offer up a scare. But Bologna, there's levels here. They're better than Brann, and I think they win. And I'm going to go for another clean sheet. After this, we travel to Spain for Celta Vigo up against PAOK Salonika. Celta Vigo with an impressive win away at PAOK. We did tip Celta Vigo to win over on the Patreon at odds of 2.8. They were underdogs there, and I know why. Because in my opinion, if PAOK are going to qualify in this tie, they need to win the home leg, because PAOK are a team that benefit massively from home advantage. But Celta Vigo are just good. They're a very good Spanish team. They're up there in the European sort of places in La Liga again. They look decent, and I think they're going to win this one again. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. PAOK Salonika not as intimidating away from home as they're at home, and I think Celta can win it. So the tip is going to be Celta Vigo to win at odds of 1.9. Even though winning for them isn't necessary, in a draw will do it. I think as well in PAOK's attempt to get back into the tie, that might allow Celta Vigo to take the lead and snatch a win. After this, we travel to the City Ground for Nottingham Forest up against Fenerbahce. And all I can say is bravo to Nottingham Forest. New manager bounce in the Europa League, travelling to one of the most hostile environments left in the competition, away at Fenerbahce. To win 3-0 in the manner that they did is incredible. Fenerbahce, make no mistake, are a good side. They're a very good side. By Europa League standards, they are a decent side. And I was surprised that Fenerbahce didn't even score a goal. Forest, they have the luxury of being 3 goals up. They play Liverpool at the weekend. You guys will know how that went. They're trying to, battle relegation in the Premier League and fight on both fronts. Who knows? They could win the Europa League and get relegated at the same time. You never know. Obviously, it's not likely they win the Europa League, but still, I think they are going to qualify from this tie. When you're 3 goals up, it's very unlikely that you say anything other than a qualification is on the card. So I think they'll just be able to get the job done here, and I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. They don't need to do anything else. So 1-1 is the scoreline, and the tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.72 because Forest can obviously score. Fenerbahce have to score. They have such great players. They really should be doing better. They should have done better in that first leg. I think they can score at least a goal here at the City ground. After this, it is Genk up against Dinamo Zagreb. Genk won 3-1 in the first leg away. And we get another tip over on the Patreon. Genk to win. Odds of above 3. Phenomenal. Genk draw no bet was 2.37. We went for both teams to score in the video. Of course, both teams did score. Dinamo Zagreb will consider themselves a little bit unlucky to have lost that game by 2 goals. But ultimately, I think now travelling away to Belgium, this is an insurmountable deficit for them. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of goals. Genk is the home side. I think they'll score. They're also in really good form. And Zagreb, they need to score. I think they will. I'm going to go for a high-scoring 2-2 draw. And the tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. The odds are 2.1. So like I said earlier, last week I predicted 13 out of 16 teams would score and 13 did. This week, I'm predicting 15 out of the 16 teams to score. So I'm very, very excited to see how it goes. I'm going for Brann not to score again, but those are my predictions. If they come true the way that I've said, then Zvezda / Red Star Belgrade will qualify, along with Viktoria Plzen, Ferencvaros, Stuttgart, Bologna, Celta Vigo, Nottingham Forest, and Genk to round up a very exciting playoff round. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Leave your comments with your predictions down there as well. I love to read them, but that is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.